Hello, my name is Andrea Stutt, and I have been talking with some friends, some clients, some people on my team about the Slim and Trim combo. And this is kind of just a follow-up video I wanted you to have in your back pocket in case you or somebody you're helping is experiencing excessive bloating. The Slim and Trim combo is the Slim Hunger Control Black Cherry Lime with the Restore with two capsules of balance daily, usually about mid-morning. And a lot of people are doing fantastic, and some people are having some bloating. And so I just wanted to break down the reasons why this could be happening to help you get better results. So there's a couple possible causes. Okay, so maybe you're brand new to the products. If you're brand new, your gut microbiome is likely out of balance coming into this. You have low beneficial bacteria, low fiber tolerance, a gut lining that is just simply not used to receiving the prebiotic fiber that is in this dose. Okay, so there are three ingredients across this combo that could contribute to bloating for a new user. So with the Slim Hunger Control, polydextrose, this is probably the biggest contributor. When polydextrose hits a dysbiotic gut, whatever bacteria are present start to ferment, and it aggressively happens, and then gas can be a byproduct of that. If you're taking the balance, that there's something in it called white kidney bean extract. These ingredients work by blocking the enzyme that breaks down starches, which means you could have more undigested carbohydrate residue, which makes its way to the colon where bacteria can ferment it. More fermentation can mean more gas. And then the Restore, there's something in it called berberine hydrochloride. Berberine is powerful. It moves fast and it shifts your microbiome composition, and it will alter your gut motility quickly. And for a new user, that can show up as bloating, cramping, or loose stools, especially in the early weeks. It is essentially doing a gut renovation, and the process is not always comfortable at the beginning. Just remember, none of this is a bad sign. It just means your gut is waking up and it's starting to change. Things are shifting. I know the discomfort is real, but it is just temporary. And most people see significant improvement within 2 to 4 weeks as the beneficial gut bacteria grow and your gut just begins to adapt. So let's just say you are a seasoned user. You've been using this for a while. You've been on the triplex, the gut health system for a while before this. Or you've been taking the Slim Hunger Control before this, but this is the first time you've added in the Restore and Balance at the same time. Okay. You're that person. You matter because, you've been doing the other products and you felt fine, but then you add in this combo together at the specific timing, you suddenly feel bloated. You weren't expecting that. And so let's talk about it again. So the balance, once again, the bean extracts, that's a new addition to what you've been doing. You were adapted to the Slim. Your gut had adjusted to the polydextrose already, but then the balance brings in that white kidney bean and bean extracts, which are going to block starch breakdown and leave more undigested carbs in the colon for bacteria to ferment still. That is new fermentation that your gut has not encountered before. And then the Restore, the berberine. Once again, it's a new addition. The berberine is going to actively shift your gut motility and your microbiome composition. Adding it on top of a gut that was already adapted to Slim is essentially introducing a potent gut active compound all at once. So for someone that's been consistent, your microbiome is working really well. Like you've already been on the gut health system prior to this. Your microbiome is working really well. A healthy, robust microbiome ferments fiber more efficiently, not less. So on days when your gut is more reactive, your good bacteria may simply be doing their job very aggressively. The bean extracts in the balance continue to leave undigested carb residue in the colon, regardless of how long that you've been using them. And like I said, the berberine continues to influence gut motility even long term. So for even a seasoned user who suddenly feels the bloat, Just ask yourself, what else has changed recently? Was it my diet? Was it stress? Was it sleep, hormones? Did I have a round of antibiotics? The products, may be contributing, but it could be something else as well. So steps on how to manage the bloating. Okay, well, step one, I would encourage you, look at how you are eating around the products first. Okay, before you change anything about how you're taking the products, look at what you've been eating. This is where a lot of people can get significant relief without disrupting the protocol. Okay, so make sure you're prioritizing protein first at every meal. Lean protein. Protein does not ferment the way carbs do. Okay, so leading with protein will give your gut a gentler environment to work in. Around the time that the products are active. Another thing you can do is you can reduce high fermentation foods on your bloated days. If you're feeling bloated, you're going to want to avoid beans, lentils, onions, garlic, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and raw apples. Those are all things that are high FODMAP foods, if you're familiar with that add significant fermentation load on top of what the products are already doing. So pulling back on those while keeping the products in place can make a noticeable difference. Also, watch your carbohydrate load at the meal closest to the combo. Remember, balance is already slowing carb digestion and leaving more undigested residue in the colon, right? So a very high carb meal in that window gives gut bacteria more to ferment. A lower carb and higher protein meal reduces that gas load. So eat the way that we're recommending and you should be fine. Eat something really simple. Eat slowly, chew thoroughly. Poorly chewed food hits the gut in larger particles that are harder to digest cleanly and easier for bacteria to ferment in ways that do produce excess gas. And then, of course, stay well hydrated throughout the day. Polydextrose draws water into the gut. And if you are underhydrated, that process becomes more uncomfortable than it needs to be. Okay, so step two, if the diet adjustments are not cutting it, that's not it, then you can separate the products. If you feel like you've eliminated every other issue, I would say separate the products. Work with your sponsor, the person that's helping you, and maybe see if you need to spread out, like maybe do slim and one balance in the morning and then one balance and restore in the afternoon or something like that, or even ease off, maybe take a half a packet and one balance and a half a scoop of restore for a day or two if you need to, just to see if maybe that might help the bloating if it's just really severe. It's just, I think when you separate them, you'll kind of give every product its own little lane. And fermentation, if that's the issue, can be happening at a more manageable rate rather than them all at once. So just know that there are ways to work around it. So please do not hesitate to reach out to your sponsor and ask for help. And hopefully this video gave you some answers. You guys have a blessed day. Thanks for listening.